Hello, it is Wednesday, day 3 of our 5-day program. On day 1, we looked at phonics and phonological and phonemic awareness. In yesterday's clip, we explored using decodable text. Today, we're going to get into sentence level transcription. So let us dive straight in. Here's our literacy block. Where does it come in? Well, right here. Now, I've put these items sort of one after the other, but the way that you arrange it is completely up to you and will depend on what your school timetable is, how many students you have, where they're up to, how you differentiate. So that differentiation we're going to get into big time in our wrap-up session. All of these things come together to influence how you implement. So this is just a suggestion. You will make it your own. Why we're going to bother to focus on sentences. As the writing revolution tells us, sentences are the building blocks of all writing, quite rightly so. With appropriate support and scaffolding, all students can learn to write sentences. Sentence level transcription is an opportunity to consolidate knowledge, and we'll have a look at that. But what are the prerequisites? When is it time to start the sentence level work? Well, children need sound phoneme grapheme correspondence, not just to recognize it, but to recall it and retrieve it from long-term memory and be able to write it down. So include both of those processes, the recognizing, when you show them the grapheme card, they can say it, but also when you say the phoneme, they can think of the grapheme and write it down, not just at grapheme level, but at word level as well. They have to be able to blend and segment words. So if you want them to write the word dog, they have to be able to go dog. They have to be able to write CVCs with ease. CVCs are those consonant, vowel, consonant words. But how do we choose the sentences? Well, the sentences could come directly from the decodable text that you're using in your lesson. So you can just take the sentence from there and you can differentiate down and you can differentiate up and make more complex. But the sentences can also come from any other source you like. You could simply use them as standalone sentences that are used to reinforce the graphemes that students have already learned. So you can see here that these sentences there's 4 of them, that the first 3 are sentences that have pretty much 1-syllable words, and then you've got that carpet on the end there. It's carpet, as we would segment it. So this is from Reading Success in Action Decoding 2, and the focus here is on R. So a number of sentences, you can use them over a few days and complicate them, or not complicate them, make them more complex or less complex depending on the needs of the students. But as I said, you can also just bust the sentences out of the decodable text they've been reading. In our decodable sentence work, our sentence level transcription, we can support the learning of new vocabulary. So say you've been working on different words for how we move, and you may have explored the word ambled. You could include that. Tom and Sam ambled along the road. But make sure in the transcription, make sure that the words contain the graphemes and irregular high frequency words the students know. Now, the older the students get, when you're getting up into the end of year 1 and into year 2, you do not have to be as tight on this as you do in the foundation year and that sort of roughly first half of year 1. Or if we put it in more of a reading development perspective, as you need to be tighter when the students have less phonics knowledge. So the more complexity of the alphabetic system the children understand, the more complex the words can get in the sentences that you are using. Making sentence level transcription successful relies on a few key things. You need to insist that everyone participates. It's not about you doing it on the board and writing the sentence and the kids sit there and do this and then they copy it off the board. Copying is the enemy of engagement and learning, so everyone needs to participate. You're going to use joint construction word by word. So let's take our sentence that we had back here. Tom and Sam ambled along the road. So you'll say that orally. Tom and Sam ambled along the road, and then the students say it. And so when you get to the writing part, you're going to say, right, what's our first word? It's Tom. And all of the students are going to go t, o, Every single one of them. And then you'll say, do that again for me. And so they sound it out again and you write it on the board. Everyone participates. You can, if you want to, have students with their board and you can say, right, I want everyone to write it on the board. Now, you wouldn't do this for every single word because it then is going to become really laborious and slow. Plus, you still want them to do some thinking when it comes to them actually writing the sentence themselves. So it's this joint construction word by word. Include recently learned graphemes and concepts. And use this joint construction routine across the curriculum. Writing is not just for the English block. It is for the literacy block. It's for science and health and RE and maths even. So using these opportunity for this strong joint construction across the curriculum, A, it provides more opportunity for children to write, but B, it helps them see that writing is not something that we do just sometimes. It's something that is included in our learning all across the board. It's important that you practice the sentence orally several times before the students write. If you can't say it, you can't read it or write it. So some children will get it first go. Many children will need 2 or 3 backwards and forwards, copying you. It's their turn. You do it again, they copy. And some children will need continual prompting all through the process. So 2 or 3 times backwards and forwards, having the children say the sentence. Be clear that this routine is about learning to get words down on the page. We're going to have a look at a different routine in days to come around building vocabulary and language structures. This is about them learning to put a sentence on a page and practice the phonics and irregular high frequency words in context. So you can put the vocab in there, absolutely, but the primary focus is on the application of the phonics and the word level work you've been doing, including irregular high frequency words. So you'll do that joint construction and then you'll cover it up and the children will write the sentence themselves. Keep it simple. Make sure there's a clear line of sight to current learning. So whatever the phonics is that you've been learning, that's what you're going to put in your sentence. Use predictable, repeated routines. I'm going to be a cracked record by the end of this week around this, but I cannot reinforce it enough. Predictable, repeated routines that the children can become familiar with, make that safety and that certainty and the predictability that enables everyone to participate. How many times do children get in trouble for being off task or talking or staring at the ceiling or doing all of the things except participating? When you provide certainty for kids, they are much more likely to participate. Consider working memory when you choose the length and complexity of the sentence. It's much better to have a shorter sentence that the whole group does and then provide a second part of the sentence as dictation to your high flyers who are ready for it, than to have a sentence that goes on and on and on and on and on, and you've lost most of the kids or half of them or however many. So keep that in mind. Plan in advance. Do not try and wing it. I've given you a template, a planning template for this in today's email. So look down there and underneath the video and you'll be able to download it. Don't try and wing it. Sometimes you'll get it and others you won't, but it'll be a missed opportunity if you've tried to wing it. So where to from here? As always, download the reflection and planning sheet and take that 5 minutes to fill it in. Identify your strengths. Think about the things that you haven't started yet, but are excited to at some point in this year. And the things you're working towards, how can you strengthen that? Submit any questions that you have. Keep the questions coming. That's so fantastic. Remember to register for that live wrap-up session so we can really get into differentiation and answer all of these questions. And check your email again tomorrow for clip number 4. Also, check in with the Facebook group because I'm there ready to work with you. Thank you so much, everybody. That is all. There you go. Check your email. Don't know. I've messed up my automations. That's all right. My animations. So sorry, everyone. If you're a Reading Success Teach Along participant, have a look at Module 8, Lesson 3, specifically around this teaching routine. So now I can say thank you, everybody. That is no, that's the wrong thing altogether. Don't look at that. I don't edit stuff because I just want it to feel like I'm here with you when we work in a teach along. That's how it is. We just roll with it. That is day number 3 done and dusted. Looking forward to bringing you tomorrow's clip. Thanks, everyone. Bye.